Goeiemorgen, good morning, Dumela, Goedemorgen, Salam Alaikum. Today I'm going to show you how to make this flat flower. There are multiple flower patterns available. This one works really well as an applique or a motif to sew onto something since it's flat. Plain and easy, no fuss, just quick. To make this, you will need whatever yarn you are using. For this tutorial I am using Risa from Kisma Yarns. It's 100% cotton. It's not quite, it's somewhere between 4-ply and a DK weight. Recommended hook size is a 3.5, but for this tutorial I will be using a 4mm crochet hook, and then of course something with which to cut the yarn. Please note that when I crochet I use UK terminology, but when I remember I will mention the US equivalent and of course Afrikaans. To make this you will need to know how to make a magic circle, chain stitch, slip stitch, treble crochet and a double treble. If you need any help with any of these skills, I have a tutorial available on my channel for each one of them. On this flower I have left the yarn end on the edge, which might be used to work the flower onto the surface from the side. But if you're going to work the flower from the inside, then leave a long yarn tail so that you can also use the same yarn to sew the flower to wherever you need it. Leaving the long yarn tail, we start with a magic ring in any way you prefer or your alternative. Then make 2 chains. To make a chain stitch, yarn over hook and draw up a loop. 1, 2. This chain 2 will not count as a stitch. Into the ring, make 15 treble crochets. To make a treble, yarn over, insert the hook into the ring, yarn over and draw up a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, 2 loops remain on the hook, yarn over and pull through both. That is the first treble. Now make 14 more treble crochets. These 15 trebles into the magic ring will form round 1. Tighten the beginning yarn tail so that your stitches make a circle. Ignore these 2 starting chains. Into the first treble crochet, insert the hook and make a slip stitch, closing the circle. For round 2, there's your starting yarn tail ready to work the flower onto a surface. For round 2, chain 2. Not into the stitch where you have started, but into the next stitch. So there is where the chain have started. Into this next stitch, make a treble crochet. Yarn over, insert under both loops, make a treble. Then into that same stitch, make a double treble. Yarn over twice, draw up another loop and work it off in sets of 2. Into the next stitch, make a double treble, so yarn over twice, and into the same stitch make a treble. Then chain 2 and slip stitch into the next stitch. This makes 1 flower petal. Repeat the same for each one of the 4 remaining flower petals. Each flower petal consists of chain 2, into the next stitch a treble, as well as a double treble into the same stitch, into the next stitch a double treble, then a treble, and then chain 2, slip stitch into the next stitch to make the next petal, and straight from there start the chain 2 and treble into the next stitch. Oops. Then for the other side of the petal, first the double treble, and then the treble, then chain 2 to bring it back down to the circle. So every petal takes the chain 2 to move up the side of the petal. Then in the next 2 stitches, first a treble, then the double treble to bring the petal up to the, what the heck? First the treble, then a double treble, so stitches of increasing length to bring it to the height of the petal and then come down again. So in the next stitch, first the double treble, then the treble, which is slightly shorter again, and 2 chains, slip stitch into the next stitch, one more time, chain 2 into the next stitch, a treble as well as a double treble, into the next stitch, the double treble, then the treble, then chain 2, oops, chain 2, and slip stitch into the stitch where you started. Fasten off, I do that by chaining 2, cut the yarn, draw out the hook and tighten. Then choose which yarn tail is needed to work the flower onto the surface where you need it, and work away the other yarn end if you need. Have some fun with flowers. Thank you for watching and have fun crafting.